We add mobility, security, and further functions to the traditional means of payments. This is what we call mobile enablement. We provide that all over the world. However, the functions differ significantly. In the United States, on the most developed market of the world, we are providing convenience for the shoppers, next generation retail solutions, whereas in the least developed parts of the world, we provide access to financial services in the absence of traditional payment and financial infrastructure.
One of the differentiating factors of Selim is the number of use cases that we have where a user can find benefit in actually making payments or purchasing. From bill payment to donation to money send to m-commerce to e-commerce to paying for parking, tollways. The amount of use cases is key because I don't want to download an app, put in my credit card information only to pay bills. I want to use it for a variety of different reasons, depending on the day, depending on the moment. I want to be able to pay at a restaurant using my mobile phone. If I'm not going to carry my credit cards or debit cards with me, then I better be able to use my phone to make those payments anywhere I am. Selim is extremely flexible in its approach to a market. For example, we can go in to a market and offer a revenue share agreement, a licensing agreement, a joint venture opportunity. So how flexible we are not only in the use cases, but how we work with our partners.
KFM is at the heart of Tungsong's vision for the future. Data doesn't matter, doesn't care if it's a plant, a building, or a sensor. So this is something where we see a lot of synergies in the future that we can deploy for the benefit of our customers.
Az épületeknek és a benne lévő helyiségeknek, berendezéseknek az adatai már a tervezési fázisban bekerülnek a tervekbe. Az üzemeltetésre is fel lehet használni természetesen ezeket az adatokat, és egy központi adatbázisban akár különböző tervekből érkező adatokat meg tudunk jeleníteni, és integráltan egy rendszerben tudják használni az üzemeltető kollégák.
A legfontosabb szempont a leendő szolgáltatóval szemben az volt, hogy itthonról lássa el a mi üzemeltetési rendünkhöz igazodóan a szolgáltatási tevékenységét, rendelkezzen megfelelő referenciákkal, illetve felkészült legyen Magyarország legnagyobb középületének, BIM alapú modelljének és rendszerének az üzemeltetésére, ezért is esett a választásunk az Archi-FM-re.
Kebahagiaan berawal dari kemudahan. Kemudahan untuk menghadirkan kesenangan, keceriaan, dan kepuasan. Kepuasan untuk meraih kesuksesan. Menghadirkan filosofi smooth dalam budaya kerja, Metranet berupaya membangun koloni yang solid untuk menatap masa depan. Pagi yang hadir dalam keseharian menjadi sebuah ritme kerja yang harmonis di keluarga Metranet.
Her Excellency Ms. Retno Marsudi, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Agus Gumiwang Kartasasmita, Minister of Industry of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Peter Siarto, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Hungary, Her Excellency Ms. Judith Pak, Hungarian Ambassador to Indonesia, Timor-Leste and ASEAN, Dr. Christoph Sabo, Chief Executive Officer of the Hungarian Export Promotion Agency. Honorable panelists, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Hunindo Tech 2.0 Business Forum. It is an honor for us to welcome you here today in this virtual event. Yang terhormat panelis, Bapak dan Ibu sekalian, kami ucapkan selamat datang di Forum Bisnis Hunindo Tech 2.0. Merupakan kehormatan bagi kami untuk menyambut Bapak dan Ibu sekalian. As you may know, the economic and political relations between Hungary and Indonesia have gone a long way back with diplomatic ties established for the past 65 years. Hungary and Indonesia nowadays are linked through a strong economic cooperation based on the fact that in recent years, many Hungarian and Indonesian companies have established valuable business and investment relations, especially in technology-driven sectors. We are hoping that the two-day session of the Hunindo Tech 2.0 that will take place today and tomorrow will further showcase the fruitful partnerships between Hungarian and Indonesian players, as well as establish new partnerships between players in both countries. First and foremost, to begin this event, please welcome Her Excellency Ms. Retno Marsudi, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, as she gives her welcoming speech.
My good friend, Foreign and Trade Minister Peter Siarto, Dear Peter, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are still battling with the pandemic. But amid all crises, there lies opportunities. The COVID-19 pandemic has unlocked the great potential of digital economy. UN Secretary General mentioned that cellular signals have reached more than 95% of the world population. In ASEAN, 441 million people, or 65% of the population, are internet users. The pandemic has also increased our dependence on digital technology, from homeschooling to working from home. It is fair to say that digital economy holds a huge potential for economic growth. To this end, Indonesia has a promising digital ecosystem with a projected value of 133 billion US dollar by 2025, with over 2,100 startups in 2019, or the fifth largest in the world. Therefore, I believe the launching of Hunindo Tech website is very timely today. And I hope this forum can provide greater opportunities for both our countries to facilitate more interaction and mutual understanding, promote more collaboration and exposure between two countries, to showcase products, investment opportunities, and updates on business activities. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great confidence to see the enthusiasm of both Indonesian and Hungarian business communities as well as startups. The business community of our two countries can play a stronger role to bring our business ties even closer and recovery. Through this forum, I strongly encourage all participants to explore potential collaboration for the benefit of our two peoples. Last but not least, I'm very happy to take this opportunity to officially launch Hunindo Tech. I thank you very much.
Next, let us also welcome His Excellency Mr. Peter Sierto, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Hungary. We would especially thank His Excellency for preparing this welcoming speech despite being in quarantine. At the moment, he is recovering from COVID-19.
I wholeheartedly welcome all the participants of the Hunindo Tech virtual forum. I especially would like to express my gratefulness to my very good colleague and friend, Minister Marsudi, dear Retno, to address this forum in the beginning as well. I wish we could meet personally. I think personal meetings cannot be replaced by any kind of virtual conferences. But unfortunately, we are living in extraordinary circumstances. I myself have been in quarantine for 14 days for getting COVID. And the least I can advise you is try to avoid that, because it's terrible. But thanks God, relationships with Indonesia have been progressing very well. In the recent years, we just celebrated the 65th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic ties. And I can tell you that there's no open political issue in our relationship. So everything is ready for a forward progress and enhancement when it comes to economic and business to business cooperation. This has been underpinned by the continuous exchanges of visits between the leaders of our countries. I myself have met Minister Marsudi quite some times She has visited me in Budapest, like our Prime Minister has visited the President of Indonesia twice in the recent years as well. And we are really happy with the continued contribution of Indonesia to the global issues. We have supported the candidature of the country to become a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. And we are happy that Indonesia contributes a lot to the peacekeeping actions of the United Nations as well. I think that people-to-people contacts are the best basis for our cooperation. That's why I'm happy to tell you that we have increased the number of scholarships we give to Indonesian students on an annual basis from 50 to 100. And I really do believe that Indonesian students in Hungary will become promoters and goodwill ambassadors of our relationship, which relationship has been performing pretty well since the Hungarian government has announced the political and economic strategy opening to East. We have increased our trade by 29% during the last 9 years. Hungarian companies have been pretty successful in the Indonesian market on water management, ICT technologies, food processing. And we have a flagship, a $36 million tied aid credit program, in the framework of which Hungarian companies have contributed to the development of the water management situation of 36 municipalities in Indonesia. And now we have some areas of economy like fintech, like telecommunication, like e-tolling, like cybersecurity or vocational training, where Hungarian companies can offer really good know-hows and technologies, which might be making sense to be put into consideration by Indonesian companies as well. That's why I'd like to encourage our Indonesian friends to make business with the Hungarian companies. I would like to encourage you to take advantage of the website hunindotech.id, which has just been established by our embassy as a good platform of data when it comes to companies seeking for information, how to cooperate with their Hungarian counterparts. Hungarian Exim Bank is at your disposal. We're ready to ensure the financial background for the cooperation between Indonesian and Hungarian businesses. And I'd like to encourage the Hungarian friends, Hungarian companies as well to be active on the Indonesian market, being one of the biggest ones in the Southeast Asian region, which is one of the most rapidly emerging regions of the world. So I wish you all the best and much of success, and I really do hope that we can meet personally soon.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time and commitment in strengthening the Hungary-Indonesian ties. Next, we have an opening speech from His Excellency Mr. Agus Gumiwang Kartasasmita, Minister of Industry of the Republic of Indonesia.
Good morning. Thank you, Excellency Ambassador, for inviting me to speak today at the second Hunindo Tech Business Forum. It is such an honor for me to be able to participate in this event. Thank you also to all participants in this webinar. I hope you are all in good health. Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, with the fastest economic growth in Europe, Hungary is now the third largest trade and investment partner in the region. This, in turn, has made Hungary one of Indonesia's most important partner country in Central Europe. Today, I would like to briefly discuss three key issues, which are the manufacturing industry performance, import substitution program, and the newly issued job creation law. Let me start with the first issue, the manufacturing industry's performance. Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia's manufacturing industry's performance has seen a positive outlook in the third quarter of this year, albeit it remains under heavy pressure due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Data from the Prompt Manufacturing Index, Bank Indonesia, shows that the country's manufacturing index in the third quarter of this year stood at 44.95%, increasing compared to that of the second quarter, which is 28.55%. All industrial subsectors was able to accomplish this achievement, whereas performance improved during the same period. The players in the country continue to make several adjustments to enhance efficiency and business sustainability. One of the measures being taken to mitigate the impact of the pandemic was by pushing further the application of various technologies. These initiatives is in accordance with the Making Indonesia 4.0 roadmap that constitutes direction and strategy to increase productivity and quality more efficiently to boost industrial competitiveness in the global arena. Innovation and technology are the paramount importance that needs to be adopted to excel in the competitions, such as through the role of startups as technology providers. Excellency, Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, secondly, our industry has been very much dependent on the import of capital goods and raw material. Thus, one of our efforts to facing this is to reduce import dependency on capital goods and raw materials. We have set a target of an import substitution program of 35% by the year of 2022, which is also carried out in the acceleration of national economic recovery. Under the program, we are taking measures to implement import substitution in industries that recorded large import values in the year of 2019 or last year. This includes machinery, chemical, metal, electronics, food, electrical equipment, textile, motor vehicles, metal goods, and rubber goods industries. To that end, these industries must be able to rush to reach various new market potentials that will emerge. The National Economic Recovery Policy is expected to protect, maintain, and increase the community's economic capacity and to create an economic climate that is safe, healthy, and conducive to boost investment and public trust. In addition, this policy also aims to boost people's purchasing power and, of course, to create jobs. Currently, 12 major manufacturing companies are in various stages of planning new investments in Indonesia with a total value of over 1,000 trillion Indonesian rupiah or 67.57 billion US dollar by the year of 2023. We are ready to oversee the realization of this investment because it will be conducive to the import substitution program. We believe this effort will encourage the deepening of industrial structure, increase investment, and promote new workers' absorption. Thus, Indonesia will be able to grow and transform in making the most of the opportunities of this pandemic. Excellency, Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, lastly, Indonesia has passed the job creation law. President Jokowi enacted this historic law on Monday, 2nd of November 2020. The Job Creation Law is a comprehensive bill that regulates many provisions in various industry sectors into one law. It seeks to strengthen the economy by increasing competitiveness, creating jobs, and making it easier to do business in Indonesia. It is also designed in part to streamlining the country's complex, sometimes redundant regulatory environment. The law is restriction in 11 critical areas, including labor law, capital investment, business licensing, corporate tax, and land acquisition. These measures have made Indonesia a far more attractive destination for foreign business and investors. Excellency, Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, that's all from me. Thank you. Stay healthy, stay strong, and stay united.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Next, we would like to welcome Dr. Christoph Sabo, Chief Executive Officer of the Hungarian Export Promotion Agency.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you for inviting HEPA to open the Hunindo Tech 2.0 event, which is a great opportunity to further strengthen Hungarian-Indonesian economic ties. Hungary is an open European economy with a strong industry sector and long-standing tradition in scientific research. Research and development is one of the main priorities of the Hungarian National Economic Strategy. Its importance is emphasized in every sector of the Hungarian economy. One of our most innovative sectors is ICT. The sector's production value provides 5% of the country's GDP. More than 4% of employees works in the digital economy. The value of goods and services related to the sector accounts for 13% of total Hungarian export. The continuous and dynamic double-digit yearly upturn observed in the digital economy greatly exceed the country's GDP growth rate. The Hungarian ICT sector has key competencies in a number of areas. The most important to mention are smart city, smart traffic, energy management, health industry, agriculture, banking and enterprise software solutions, security printing, and cybersecurity software solutions. The startup ecosystem is getting stronger in the country, and the cooperation between companies and universities has gained a new momentum. Several programs help young people reach their full potential, and companies discover promising candidates more easily than ever. The Startup Campus Hungary, powered by HEPA program, supports the greatest ideas coming for universities and helps students create remarkable as well as internationally successful products and startups. The Hungarian ICT sector boasts many international success stories. The Hungarian design software company Graphisoft has been successful for several decades. Its solutions are used in nearly every country in the world. The Budapest-based navigation software company NNG started as a small startup and became one of the leading suppliers of the global automotive industry over the course of 10 years. The most well-known success story of the past few years, Prezi's web-based presentation software used by over 100 million people on a global scale. Chatbot team, which specifically develops HR chatbot solutions, is one of the world's most promising artificial intelligence startups. Talkabot also develops chatbot solutions. After a capital investment of several million euros, the company is dynamically extending its external markets. This year, 3 Hungarian companies, Dintel Magyarország, Supercharge and Miniserum, are on the Deloitte Technology Fast 500 EMEA list, which ranks the fastest growing tech firm of 22 countries. The Hungarian government is doing its best to support companies operating in Hungary to sell their world-class products and services in as many foreign countries as possible. Therefore, it adopted the National Export Strategy for the period of 19 to 2030 in the March last year. HEPA continuously supports several ICT and tech companies in reaching their export goals by searching for business opportunities for them, taking them to roadshow globally, and organizing joint exhibitions. It remains our primary mission to maintain our export promotion contribution to those companies. Such events like the current would mean a firm milestone on the way. Looking forward to our mutual cooperation, I wish you a successful event and negotiation.
Thank you, Dr. Christoph. Last, but certainly not the least, please welcome Her Excellency Judith Pak, Ambassador of Hungary to Indonesia.
Yang terhormat para peserta dari Indonesia dan Hungaria. Ladies and gentlemen, dear business representatives, dear Indonesian and Hungarian friends. Suatu kehormatan bagi saya untuk dapat membuka forum bisnis penting Hunindo Tech 2.0 ini antara Indonesia dan Hungaria untuk membantu kemajuan bisnis di masa pandemi. As the pandemic fundamentally transformed business culture globally, the main goal of the Hungarian embassy remains to upgrade the Hungarian-Indonesian relations and to help effectively our business communities. Bilateral relations between Hungary and Indonesia have gone a long way back, and this year the importance of this event is enhanced also by the fact that we are celebrating the 65th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations. In the recent years, political and economical relations have experienced a major development, and our mutual strong engagement is also proven by the fact that 3 ministers agreed to open today's forum with me together. Special thanks to Ibu Retno Marsudi, Foreign Minister of Indonesia, Bapak Agus Gumiwang Kartasasmita, Indonesian Minister of Industry, Mr. Peter Sijarto, Hungarian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, and Dr. Christoph Szabó, Head of the Hungarian Export Promotion Agency. Terima kasih banyak Ibu Menlu dan Bapak-Bapak Menteri. Köszönjük szépen Miniszter úr, vezérigazgató úr. Ladies and gentlemen, in the recent years, business relations have been on the rise, and by now the annual trade flow between our two countries exceeds $200 million. Many Hungarian and Indonesian companies that represent particularly high level of technology have achieved major success through cooperation. Please allow me to give you some examples of the outstanding joint projects of the last years. Budapest Waterworks and their Indonesian partner Arta and Virotama developed water supply systems in 36 settlements throughout Indonesia. Multiple gas-powered mobile power plant projects run by PLN are since 2016 operating with GE turbines produced in Hungary. Indonesia's first gamma irradiation facility, which was inaugurated by Vice President Yusuf Kalla in 2017, was implemented with the professional help of Hungarian Isotope Kft. In 2018, Telkom Indonesia invested in the Hungarian fintech company Salom and signed a strategic cooperation agreement with the company. Hungarian lightning company Tungsram, who already owned a production base in Indonesia in the 70s, is now working on re-entering the Indonesian market with new innovative solutions. With all this, I believe we can clearly state that technology is bringing us together. This was already proven by the first Hunindo Tech Business Forum in 2018, in which over 200 Hungarian and Indonesian business companies participated, resulting in new business cooperation and partnerships. Nowadays, it's more important than ever to establish new business relations, and Hunindo Tech is again providing a platform for tech-based Hungarian and Indonesian companies to discuss their innovative solutions and development plans. During the following 2 days, outstanding companies and experts of their field will elaborate on how our future will look like. Visit our homepage hunindotech.id to learn more about the event and also about Hungarian companies looking for new partnerships in Indonesia. Very special thanks to our sponsors, Tungstram Group, Salum, FastiPay, and a special thanks for the continuous support of the Hunindo Tech events by Telkom Indonesia. Saya sebagai Duta Besar Hongaria untuk Indonesia sangat berharap bahwa forum bisnis ini akan sukses dan akan membangun hubungan bisnis antara kedua negara di tengah COVID-19 ini. Terima kasih banyak.
Honorable guests, panelists, ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly begin our panel session for today. For anyone who wishes to join all sessions, kindly visit our website at hunindotech.id to access all the Zoom links. I will now hand the panel session over to the moderator and panelists. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abigail Ayu, for your introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, our respected panelists and audience. Selamat siang, Bapak-Bapak dan Ibu-Ibu sekalian. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to the Hunindo Tech 2.0 Business Forum, brought to you by the Embassy of Hungary in Indonesia and sponsored by the Ministry of Communication and Informatics of the Republic of Indonesia, Tungsram Group, Salum, Telkom Indonesia, Arki FM, and FastiPay. The digital landscape in Hungary and in Indonesia have witnessed a boom in line with global trends and is thus an immensely lucrative opportunity that countries must capitalize on. Both countries have a lot to offer in terms of technological innovations, be it from the infrastructure, financial technology, cybersecurity, startup and innovation management, transportation, and even medical technology field. At the Hunindo Tech 2.0 Business Forum, stakeholders from both countries are here to share valuable knowledge and experience and hopefully can form strong partnerships in the long term. For further information regarding potential partnership opportunities, please visit the official website for Hunindo Tech 2.0 Business Forum at www.hunindotech.id. And without further ado, let us begin with this panel session. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Vika Rosemary. I am the radio presenter at 103.8 Brava Radio Jakarta. And I am very delighted to be the moderator today for the panel session on infrastructure development, building a smart capital, finances, technologies, good relations in the perspective of public-private partnership. First of all, may I briefly introduce you to our speakers. The first one, Tungsram is an iconic name in Hungary, but has also set its sights on the global market since 2018 as a premium European technology brand following the acquisition of GE Lighting's general lighting business at the EMEA region as well as GE Global's automotive operation. And since 1896, Tungsram has created new solutions in the core of lighting and telephone technology businesses. And Tungsram also invests into future-safe technologies such as smart solutions and indoor farming. The goal is to create affordable, sustainable technology-based solutions for the world with the strategic goal of eventually creating happiness. Arki FM, under Tungsram Innovative Solutions and part of the Greater Tungsram Group since 2019, is a market-leading property and facility management system in Hungary, with more than 20 years of experience in software development. Tungsram Innovative Solutions holds partnership agreements with Singapore-based tech company and has a market presence in Southeast Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. The company aims at further enhancing its business intelligence, AI, and energy-saving capabilities to complement the Greater Tungsram Group's smart potential. Mr. Jörg Bauer, CEO of Tungsram Group, is here with us today to represent the iconic group of companies. Mr. Bauer has had over 20 years of experience in his field and has dealt with public stakeholders, media, and governments all over the world, while also contributing to education in multiple countries. Today, he will share his insights of Tungsram's unique lighting modernization program funded by the ESCO model. And we will also get the opportunity to get to know more about the future of smart buildings through Arki FM's building utility management software. Hello, Mr. Bauer. thank you for being here today.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon to Indonesia. Good morning.
And good morning to you in Hungary. And from the Indonesian side, we have the Ministry of Public Works and Housing, specifically the Directorate General of Infrastructure Financing. The Directorate is tasked with formulating and implementing policies in the field of public works and housing infrastructure implementation in accordance with the relevant laws and regulations. As such, the Directorate plays a significant role in development of the new capital city of Indonesia. And today we are pleased to have Bapak Heri Trisaputra Zuna, Director for Development of Financial Management Strategy System from the Ministry of Public Works and Housing. Pak Heri was awarded the prestigious Satya Lancana Karya Satya 20 in 2016 for his contribution as civil servant in the last 20 years. And today he will highlight the importance of new technological solution and their important role in supporting the ministry's plans for the new capital city. Pak Heri, selamat siang. Apa kabar, Pak?
Siang, baik Mbak Epi. Yeah.
And next, I will move to our Hungarian friend. The next panelist is PTK InnoSystem Limited. PTK InnoSystem is one of Hungary's renowned water management and environmental consulting companies that provide support to governmental, non-governmental, industrial, and military customers. Their services include scientific and technical consulting, as well as the engineering task of water management and environmental protection. A separate branch in the company also deals with educational development work, where they correct and grade national and international public education surveys. So today, we have with us Mr. Robert Revai, Project and Certified Environmental Engineer at PTK InnoSystem Limited. Mr. Revai is an expert in environmental protection and waste management, and today he will talk about innovative water purification technologies as well as flash flood modeling. Mr. Revai, pleasure to having you with us today.
It's nice to meet you. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And not to forget, Mr. Peter Popovich, design engineer and water purification expert at PTK InnoSystem Limited. At PTK, he is responsible for designing water treatment system and facilities. His previous project include a mobile water container in Papua and in Uganda. Mr. Popovich, how are you today, sir?
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to hear some Bahasa finally. You forgot to mention I was working as commissioning engineer in Indonesia before in the past 2 years. So it's a pleasure for me to be part of this meeting, and I'm looking forward to the questions and really open to hear information from you.
Sure.
Okay.
We will get back to you later on, Mr. Popovich. But now I would like to introduce one of your colleagues there. Mr. Christian Fodor is the project engineer at PTK InnoSystem. He is the project engineer of IKK Hungary project, water supply program and water treatment plans for water scarcity area project in Indonesia. And he has been living in Indonesia since 2016. Mr. Fodor, apa kabar? Assume that you can speak Indonesia a little bit.
Excuse me.
Is Mr. Fodor here with us or no?
He is having some troubles with the telecom.
With the connection. Oh, I see.
Yes, with the connection.
Yeah.
I really hope he's going to join us later.
Sure. We will wait for him. Okay, and then next we have Indonesian state-owned enterprise in the construction sector, PT Wijaya Karya Persero Terbuka, or best known as WIKA. WIKA is by far Indonesia's largest contractor, having constructed all kinds of infrastructures, be it roads, dams, ports, airports, power plants, industrial plants, and even high-rise buildings. Joining us today is Bapak Jeffrey Limas, Head of International Business Development at PT Wijaya Karya Persero Terbuka. But Jeffrey has nearly 15 years of experience and has led the company to expand its operation to 11 countries worldwide, including Africa, the Middle East, and other parts of Asia. Previously, Pak Jeffrey was in charge for international supply chain management in overseas project. Pak Jeffrey, pleasure to meet you.
Selamat siang.
Selamat siang.
Nice to meet you.
And last but certainly not least is PT Petrosi Terbuka. PT Petrosi is a multidisciplinary mining, infrastructure, and oil and gas services company with a track record of achievement in Indonesia for more than 48 years. And Petrosi was the first publicly listed Indonesian engineering and construction company in Indonesia. It is supported by its main shareholder, PT Indika Energy Terbuka, an integrated Indonesia energy company, providing its customer with integrated energy solutions through its complementary investments in the areas of energy resources, energy services, and energy infrastructure. Today we have with us Bapak Hanifa Indrajaya, President Director of PT Petrosi Terbuka and former President Director of PT Indika Indonesia Resources. Mr. Indrajaya has over a decade of experience in the financial sector and is a recipient of the Certificate of Management Excellence from Harvard Business School Executive Education Program in the United States. Pak Hanifa, apa kabar? Sehat-sehat, Pak? I think I saw...
Iya, kabar baik.
Halo Pak Hanifa, kabar baik.
Kabar baik. Semua mudah-mudahan sehat semua.
Sehat-sehat Pak Hanifa. All right. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you today. So let's start the discussion. So I will give my first question to Mr. Bauer. How does smart technology contribute to a more livable environment and improve human well-being, in your opinion, Mr. Bauer?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you mentioned happiness in your introduction, and when we got this second chance, basically when I bought out the company from GE Lighting, we took quite a bit of time to understand or basically figure out what is our purpose. So why should we have this second chance? How can we contribute from Hungary to address the big challenges of our times? And that was even before COVID, and I can come to that for a moment. But so happiness for us means human well-being. Means when you think about the building blocks of human life, it means food, it means shelter, so accommodation. It means clean water. It means education, health. So we basically figured that based on our experience with our infrastructure, we can contribute to some of those. So that's how we have decided to invest into food security as one of those topics. And COVID has exposed how fragile food supply chains are globally now, as basically countries also to some extent focus on themselves.
Yeah.
So our goal there is to bring food back to the communities, so closer to home if you want to. And I think it's in line with what His Excellency the Minister was talking about when he talked about resilience and substitution of imports. So I think that's basically one of those things. And Indonesia as a country with 20,000 islands that are is basically it's perfect for this approach where every island should be as much as possible self-sufficient in our view. At the same time, energy efficiency is a very big topic, cost efficiency for us. And there we are looking, generally we're looking for data-driven solutions. I think it was mentioned, again, His Excellency mentioned Indonesia 4.0. Basically, IoT or Internet of Things is a topic that is important for us because we believe in machines communicating with machines, which is IoT, Internet of Things. Like a farm, an indoor farm, a building, a city is basically for us a data-driven environment that then we can harness the data to make a better living condition for the people. And then the other topic that we recently also became very focused on is sanitation. So how can we provide clean environments? COVID is a topic, but not only COVID, obviously after COVID, there's still plenty of germs to kill. Yeah. And basically we are combining those three elements into complex solutions.
Okay, you mentioned about the food and energy security, but considering Indonesia is the world's largest archipelago in the world with more than 10,000 islands, how can we work towards ensuring food and energy security?
Yeah, it was mentioned earlier in my previous job at GE. We basically provided mobile power stations to islands in Indonesia, and that was a very satisfying project because it immediately addressed the need of an island. So you put a power station, you had power, electricity, and with electricity you can clean water. You know, you have obviously light, and we are also a lighting company, so we're providing hardware. Now we believe, for example, we call them indoor farming, so greenhouses or vertical farms close to the metropolitan areas, but also close to the islands. And Indonesia is an interesting country where you have, I think it's the second most populated metropolitan area around Jakarta after Tokyo in the world. At the same time, you have, as you said, 10,000 islands, which are in some cases remote communities. So our solutions aim to cover both needs. And for example, by putting a farm next to a village on an island, you could make sure that the villagers, especially the children, will get proper proteins, vitamins, proper food basically at any point of time, 365 days a year.
What kind of smart solution does Tungsram have for PropTech, Mr. Bauer?
Well, it was mentioned, I mean, we have acquired a company called Aki FM, like Architecture FM Facility Management, 1.5 years ago to basically complement our hardware solutions with the software that basically will allow us to collect data. So again, I mean, we believe data is going to be the new infrastructure for the future. In most of the buildings exist today. So there's obviously new buildings, but the majority of the buildings are existing buildings. And we believe in what we call the digital twin of the building. So practically, you're measuring the building, you're making basically a full comprehensive audit of the infrastructure, the utilities, the power lines, water lines, air conditioning, and so on. And basically for the purpose, you collect the documentation, and then you can start to install sensors along with modern lighting, where ESCO energy efficiency can fund the investment. And basically by doing that, very often you can reduce the environmental footprint of the building by more than 20%. And in line with that, also the cost of running the building. At the same time, you have a better experience for the tenants of the building.
Okay. And with respect to the current pandemic situation, what is the role of digital twins in facility management?
One of our solutions is what we call indoor navigation. That means we basically can navigate, or people can navigate with our software in large buildings, like think about a person with certain disabilities who would like to move around in a railway station, a large railway station. So he or she can find out where's the next elevator, where's the next ramp, can call for a hydraulic lifter basically to enter the train. At the same time, we can find out who is being close to whom. So basically, by using the metadata, for example, of the mobile phones, and you know, humans and mobile phones are already kind of cyborgs because we never leave them anywhere. So by doing that, we can help to trace down, for example, COVID-infected people's contacts, and then basically make sure that those people go into quarantine.
Okay, but how can technology help in economy recovery post-pandemic?
Well, I believe especially countries that maybe still have a way to go in terms of infrastructure now have a great opportunity to what we call leapfrog. So sometimes we say the worse the technology today, the better the opportunity, because with this ESCO energy efficiency funding, you basically jump from a, let's say, old technology to the most modern one, and you can fund the investment completely with the energy efficiency gain. So if I just make an example, let's say your bill was 100 in the past, and then you can reduce electricity consumption by 50-60%. So you save 50, and the 50 you can use to fund the investment. So that's the ESCO, and I believe Indonesia and other countries with let's say, visionary leadership, and I understood the plans are there, can do a lot of energy efficiency investments basically in a short period of time. So think about implementation of 5G, modern street lighting that is connected, smart meters, modern buildings, and Tungsram could be and is very happy to be a partner in this.
Okay, so I will move to Pak Heri Trisaputra Zuna from Kementerian PUPR. As we understand, Pak Heri, cities around the world now are transforming to be more efficient and data-driven. What are the key focus areas for smart cities in Indonesia? Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. Again, it is related with the need actually of the people. Yeah. I believe that the transport is the first. I mean, the mobility is the first need that should be supported by the technology, and then also transaction on the other side. But I want to say that in terms of the infrastructure, we are still far behind the other. So I believe we can put the benefit of the technology to make this infrastructure more competitive. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, what are some infrastructure development challenges in Indonesia, Pak, that can be solved with innovative technological solutions?
Yeah, actually, Ministry of Public Work dealing with at least 4 sectors. One is road, highway, and bridges, and the other one is water. Yeah, drinking water, and then water resource management, and also housing. And all of this sector is possibly to be inject with the benefit of the technology. For example, currently we dealing with the toll road transaction. Yeah, we adopt the before we adopt the cashless society by changing manual transaction into electronic money. Nowadays, we also by where the Rotek from Hungary become one of the initiator in the project. Yeah, we initiate the multi-lane free flow. So soon after this, we believe that there will be no queuing in the toll road. So we increase the efficiency on other infrastructure as well. Smart water, for example. Yeah, how we can reduce non-revenue water, how we can identify the leakage and everything. Housing, as mentioned, also maybe how we combine the roof with the energy, for example, the solar. So many technology can be inject with the current infrastructure that we develop.
Okay, I will give this question to Pak Heri and also Mr. Bauer from Tungsram. How important is building information modeling for Indonesian companies, especially in construction and property management? Maybe Pak Heri wants to answer first, and after that I will deliver it to Mr. Bauer.
Yeah, in Indonesia, I believe our issue is about the speed and the readiness. Yeah, we have a very limited time. It means that we need to prepare the preparation, if possible, in 1 day. Then we can deliver the infrastructure soon after that. Because the situation now, we are far behind the other country. So the only way is how to structure, to prepare everything in a very short term. So BIM in this case, I believe, can help in this process as well as to prepare everything in accurate and ready to deliver after that.
Okay, you want to add something, Mr. Bauer?
Yeah, I think maybe just to add to that, I mean, I think it's a huge opportunity also to increase productivity of the production on the construction companies and the service companies doing the facility management. that basically can plan the maintenance and the services a lot better. But I think I think it was mentioned before, startups. Startups in Indonesia will need data. And then they can build, based on data, they can build applications that then initially cater for the Indonesian market, but later on, as Indonesia is a large domestic market, later on can be exported from Indonesia to the world. So our infrastructure and the infrastructure that is basically being described is creating this data that then could help Indonesian startups.
Okay. So, Pak Heri, does the Indonesian government have a digital register of the buildings managed by them? If so, what level of digital data is available for those buildings?
Yeah, maybe the development is not in advance, yeah, Bu Evi. Which is, I believe, this is the room for
the
technology to be involved. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, now I would like to ask Pak Hanifa from Petrosi. Pak Hanifa, how is the digital transformation progressing in Indonesia these days? Do you see the current situation more as an opportunity or more as a painful situation to tackle? And how has remote working transformed the Indonesian companies, including Petrosi?
Petrosi actually it exists in the mineral resources space. So I think even before the pandemic hits, it is one of the sector that is most hard hit with the way the global economy is going at that time. So even before the pandemic, we are seeing a market which is in an upheaval, for lack of better words. And if anything, the pandemic only accelerates what we have foreseen happening in the past 2 or 3 years. And I think within that context that we at Petrosi, I think it was 2 years ago that we initiated our digitalization initiative. We call it Project Minerva. And it is a response actually to this sea change in the market condition in the industry, which is shifting dramatically even before the COVID. So with the COVID, I think it is a justification. It has become a proof that what we have foreseen happening was correct. That the world is changing. The way of working is changing. So even before the pandemic hits, we, through our digitalization, as Mr. George Bauer said, that now it is a world of big data. The more we harness big data, the more we can actually be proactive in responding to situation as they arise. So I see it more as an opportunity in many levels, not only at the operational level, but even at the strategic level.
Okay. I will pass the same questions to Pak Jeffrey Limas from Wika. How do you see that this digital transformation progressing in Indonesia, especially in Wika, Pak?
Thank you. Well, basically, the use of technology in construction sectors has been developed rapidly in recent years. We start to work overseas since 15 years ago, and compared to 15 years ago, how we do the business nowadays is completely different with what we did back then. Now it's like the world is without boundaries, and with this pandemic situation has actually pushed us further to maximize the use of technology. Now I think we can easily monitor, we are working now in 11 countries. So basically we can monitor the projects nowadays in real-time basis. And then also the use of BIM, building information modeling, is also make the planning and execution is more effective and efficient. We are really feel blessed with the development of the technology nowadays.
So, what are the opportunities that Indonesian companies are seeking to take advantage of? How can we support them in their action? For example, for workforce enablement and optimization, the use of mobile devices by field workers.
Yeah, like I said before, the use of BIM, building information modeling, is really what in the construction sectors nowadays is happening now, and it really makes the planning and also the execution is more effective. So one of that, and also like you said, the workforce, and then also the supply chain from wherever, which part of the world. With the use of technology now, we can easily procure whatever we need for the construction, especially. So if it was really an opportunity for us, Indonesian construction company, to be in the event, and we develop more technology from the Hungary, we are open to develop more.
Okay. I will go back to Pak Heri. Pak Heri, what are the roles and responsibilities of regulatory offices and institutions in the current pandemic situation with respect to digitalization? Is there a plan to pass a law about digital property management, for example?
Yeah. Initiation for the law, I'm not seen that so far, But in our circumstance, we are now working with that with the help of the digitalization. We do Zoom, we do everything by that. But in terms of the law, we don't identify it so far,
Okay. All right. Thank you, Pak Heri. Now, let's talk about the water purification technology. It's one of the biggest cooperation between Indonesia and Hungary as well. And we have the PTK system. One of Hungary's renowned water management and environmental consulting companies. I would like to ask Mr. Peter Popovich, what makes VTK's water purification technology unique? Can you tell us more about that?
So, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, if I may, I will react to the previously spoken concerning the pandemic. I'm very happy to hear people saying that actually the situation not changed. The recent efforts are just confirmation what we have foreseen and what we are planning for, and this is what we were always preparing for. Here comes the technology and the importance of new way of communication, automation, and so on. As a representative of a commercial company, very honestly, I would say we are not special. We are aiming to be a leader in this technology. What do we do for this? Very briefly, I would say that we apply technology as holistic engineering. What does it mean? It's not only the very traditional flow analysis, cost efficiency analysis. We always analyze and build for the complete water cycle management. And we are in a lucky situation. VTK Innosystem is a participant of a consortia, H2O, some of you are familiar with, involving a lot of companies, suppliers, first of all. So has factories of pumps, measurement technology, electrical, have engineers from all the different areas covering environmental engineering, water fluid management, water treatment, chemistry. So we can mobilize a lot of engineers. And third, we have good diplomats or people to deploy. But here I'd like to emphasize one very important issue. Even the Minister of Foreign Affairs of mentioned, we have increased educational program in Indonesia. So we have very good relationship with Indonesian engineers. And even the locally ad hoc hired personnel, we were able to establish a very good communication, very practical team to take the challenges of. Maybe later on my colleague will tell me more about that.
Yes, yeah. I would like to ask that to Mr. Robert Rivai. What kind of cooperation is PTK interested in Indonesia?
Actually, I was talking to Mr. Robert, and as I've been to Indonesia, if it's possible, I would like to reply on that. First of all, congratulations for His Excellency Mr. Jokowi, and congratulations for the new law on preservation of jobs and increase of jobs. And especially as engineer, I think it is a very challenging thing, challenging plan for Indonesia to move its capital city to Borneo. And we are really interested in being part of this. It's a major challenge. Jakarta is a beautiful city. I think all of us like it. I personally do. And such a big part of a country to a new region. I don't want to touch the political part of it, but the engineering part, it is challenging. We are really looking forward to provide any help in the area of water treatment, economical and environmental engineering, and also in project management.
Can you tell me more about your flash flood modeling?
I'm not expert. Let me pass.
Okay, I think
Robert,
Robert Revai. What can PTK offer in flash flood modeling for cities, especially in Indonesia?
Just shortly, Hungary has been experiencing flooding for many years now. VTK was founded in 1989, so VTK also has more than 30 years of experience, and I think we can implement this experience to Indonesia, to the new capital. Peter said this one. We flash flooding for cities. Where the main tasks of rainwater drainage survey are we can make city level survey if it is required, mapping of the horizontal and elevation lines of existing sewerage networks, creating a database of existing and survey data with state-of-the-art technology without additional human works. This is the cheapest solution. We can make 3D visualization and delimitation of river basins and modeling of the rainwater flow with a stormwater management model software, and we can make optimization of the rainwater drainage network. I think VTK can implement this technology in the new capital if it's required.
I will ask this question to Pak Jeffrey from Wika. In terms of flash flooding modeling for cities, are there any cooperation for possibilities?
Well, it's very interesting to hear what VTK is capable of, and I think with his intentions to implement this in the new capital of Indonesia is really encouraging. And I think since we are also in part of the government program, we are a state-owned enterprise. So I think what VTK can offer to develop the systems of new capital is really intriguing and interesting, and it can be implemented, in my opinion.
Okay, let's talk about the potential future investment in the water purification and water treatment, waste water treatment plant. What do you think is the potential cooperation or collaboration on this particular field?
All right. Okay. So the Indonesian government under the President Joko Widodo has been encouraging the foreign investment to take part in many sectors, including infrastructures. And as I mentioned, as a state-owned enterprise, of course, we are supporting the government program of KPBU, Kerjasama Pemerintah dan Badan Usaha, or widely known as PPP, Public-Private Partnership. And well, the water purification and WWTP sectors is one of the sectors offered in the PPP scheme. So if there's any our Hungary friends interested in take part of the WWTP or water purification, well, they can contact us and we definitely have a list of projects where we can start communicating to where it's already like the green field or the brown field where it's actually ready to be work together in the PPP scheme.
Okay. Mr. Robert Revai, maybe you can add more on this.
Yeah, I think we will contact you, and I think we can make any further projects or future investments. So yeah, our contacts, we have our contacts, and I think we'll talk about it.
You have yeah.
Maybe I can add some additional information here. We missed the company presentation. So VTK Inner System has references in 3 different scales of and wastewater treatment. From the small miniature scale water treatment system, what we do for emergency rescue or drinking water supply, through the medium scale water treatment system, ITT projects you might be familiar with, to the large scale hundreds of thousands cubic meters per day capacity, have reference and expertise what we are willing to provide and share with the Indonesian partner. Also, our company and engineering team has experience working together with PU, and I'm happy to see a representative of Ministry of Public Works from Indonesia here, because I think one of the keys of this investments of this constructions is a good cooperation. I don't say it's easy. Of course, as a business partner, we deal with each other, but we have experience how to deal with PU, how to deal with Indonesian requirements, how to deal with Indonesian law, and how to deal with local problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Popovich. I will go back to Mr. Hanifa from Petrosi. I have one question left for you, sir. How are homegrown startups driving improvement on social and economic fronts using technology?
Yeah, I think the social economic fronts, if we can classify that as society, both the needs in terms of the social needs and also the economic needs. The society needs is addressed in through many ways, and I think one of the main instigator of innovation, thus startups, actually comes from the need to address societal needs. Even the rise of companies actually is to address societal needs, to address that. And we have seen this to happen quite strongly. Let me diverge a bit, Maevi, if I may. Petrosi is in mining, and I think it is not often being discussed. Even in this forum, the fact that we are in mining is a little bit forgotten. But even one of the company, the distinguished company here, Tungsram, the name itself, it's actually from a mineral product, tungsten and wolfram, which is used for the filament of a light bulb. So happiness, societal needs, everything, we need the resource to make that happen. And I think the challenge now, which has to be addressed both by the startups locally and even more importantly globally, as an ecosystem together, is to address the societal needs. If anything, the world or life has hit the pause button because of this pandemic. And we have seen that actually we may have been given a second chance to address the environmental challenge, the challenge of environmental sustainability. That is where a lot of the new technology that Petrosi is being embracing, and we are so keen to partner up or establish an ecosystem with the Hungarian ICT or technology sector in this regard. With PTK, for example, the flash flood management in mining 101, when you dig a hole, what goes down first? It's water. Mining 101 is water management. And energy saving, our digitalization basically is geared toward a more efficient use of energy to get the resources, the minerals that is essential for society, for civilization. So this is where we are very keen on actually exploring with through this forum. So homegrown startups, I believe in ecosystem. Homegrown startups can only go as far as its participation in the global ecosystem of startups, of technology, of innovation. This is what we are very keen in developing in terms of relationship, exposure to the Hungarian ecosystem. If anything, Hungary is among the most, in terms of GDP, percentage of GDP coming out from technology, it is one of the more prominent in Europe. Not only in Central Europe, but overall in the whole of Europe. And we are keen. We are keen. Let's see what we can bring together actually in terms of startups. We may actually be a half-century old company, but the way we approach things is like a startup. So we like to consider Petrosi even as a homegrown startups in that regard, maybe.
Thank you, Pak Hanifa. I will ask this question to all of the speakers. Yeah. With regards with the current situation of pandemic, how do you think that the technology can help in economic recovery post-pandemic? Maybe Pak Hanifa can answer it first.
In terms of what can actually be the driver of the recovery, I think we learn it through our digitalization journey. It's actually the shift in mindset, the shift in the way people think, the shift in the way we work. Working from home is only a very small part of that, but knowing that we can achieve so much by being connected, achieving together by not having to be in a physical presence. Even in terms of infrastructure, do we need that many roads? Do we actually see a renaissance of urban design of cities? Does it have to be that energy intensive? We are seeing that. We are seeing the driver actually being put in place of how can we re-emerge from this pandemic toward a more sustainable society. And those driver is for us to look around. It's actually efficiency. It's actually less transportation cost. It's a myriad of things. If you add together and you actually put it in a thematic and in a systematic way, that can actually become the silver lining in the cloud, apa hikmahnya gitu, hikmah dari ini semua. Dan it's not, we don't have to always rely on government stimulus. Yes, it may actually be necessary, but we must not only rely on that. We must not only rely on government spending on infrastructure. Let's see about even in how we do things. How we do things. How can we actually, the way I see it now with the pandemic, the smaller enterprises, some of them are hit pretty hard. Yeah. But some of them that can actually embrace technology can actually thrive.
Survive, yeah.
So yeah, we are seeing about a redistribution or maybe even a way of addressing inequality in terms of the economy. Yes, we are seeing a lot of pressure, of course. I'm not saying that everything is fine, everything is sunny, everything is rosy, but we are seeing the seed, we are seeing the technologies, we are seeing the ways by which we can address whatever problem we have foreseen before the pandemic, which became accelerated by the pandemic. But we are seeing that, and I think we have to rely on the lessons to actually bring ourselves to recover from this pandemic. It's going to be a very different world. The new normal will be very different from the old normal.
Pak Heri, your opinion on this, Pak?
Yeah, I think, we should learn from the pandemic, actually. There are many changes that will last after the pandemic going over, yeah? And I think we need to start with the need first, yeah, and then see how the technology can help. And I believe on all of the sector, all of the element of our society, it needs intervention from the technology. So I think this technology together with the infrastructure that we need, I believe it can help us to come back to the new normal with the to recovery from the economic crisis. Thank you.
Thank you. Pak Jeffrey.
Well, Pak Hanif and Pak Heri has sums up basically as construction industries is one of the most basic, I would say, where usually we are not as fast or as adept as other industries like fintech or other startups in adapting with the new technology. But this pandemic has really pushed us further, and a truly game changer where now the mobility isn't as easy as it used to be. and how we can actually think the use of technology try to survive in 11 of our operation countries all over the world, from Africa and then Middle East and then a few countries in Asia, is what we're trying to do in the first couple of months. But now I think we are starting to adapt, and really we start to rely more on the technology and how the technology is actually shaping the construction industries is going to be a truly interesting for us to look forward into.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pak Heri, can you update us on the ministry's plan for the new capital city? Pak Heri, I think you're still unmute. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, yeah, because of pandemic and other thing, yeah, the progress is not as fast as before, but a special team dedicated for the preparation still working on it. So everything still working, and we wait until the condition become better again.
Okay. Mr. Bauer, how do you think that our Hungarian counterparts can help and in supporting the ministry's plans for the new capital city?
I mean, I must say, a new capital city is a once-in-a-century undertaking. Not many countries in the world are building these kind of large infrastructure projects. Now, being there from the beginning, I mean, pooling different, I call them pockets of excellence in Hungary, the water industry, clearly one of them, but also planning, for example, with glass fiber, with other basic infrastructure that is then connected to intelligent street lighting, would make that city one of the most, if not the most modern city on the planet from day number one. So I think there's a huge opportunity to also use this new capital city as a sandbox for innovation. So we can basically jointly try out with universities, with startups, new technologies, new concepts, where a large city of millions and millions of people will typically not be centrally managed anymore, following modern concepts. So there's these ideas of what they call walking distance. So how can you set up a city so that most of the necessary amenities, health, education, shops, jobs, basically are within walking distance, and you can eliminate the traffic through those residential areas that are, if you want to, little villages, little communities, which also make them more livable places, because that's what people are looking for. They like to see the neighbor, they like to the shop where they always go, they know the teachers and so on. So these are the concepts that we would be thrilled to be part of, if we can be part of this discussion, because we believe Hungary, Tungsram, has technologies that can contribute to that. Maybe just a word about what I think was said before. I mean, we have deliberately kept production. So we believe mining, raw materials, production are the building blocks that we need in addition to digitalization. So this kind of blended world that we are coming to, we believe gives a lot of opportunities. So why would a little boy or girl from a remote island in Indonesia not become the next Nobel Prize winner? Because now she or he has access to all information, to the best teachers, if we do our job right. And I think that's basically, that has to be our vision. I mean, we have to reap the talent of the planet and give everyone the chance to participate. And that's the kind of things I think we should be working on. Thank you.
And what are your future, project plans in Indonesia, sir?
Well, I mean, as I said, we would be extremely interested in being part of a team, a discussion team on the new capital city. But also, when I just look at the panel, basically construction is an area that we are very interested in. We also have solutions that we believe will even increase productivity in the construction, during the construction. So software solutions that help better using the resources and assets, for example. I think when we talk about water with our friends in Hungary, and obviously our partners in Indonesia, Leakage detection is a very big topic, or leakage in some cases, theft of water. Again, it's an IoT, it's a data problem. So you're having 100 liters going through at one sensor and only 80 liters coming at the second sensor, but you need that information centrally. So if you do that properly, and as I said, for a new capital city or for existing cities, you can immediately reduce costs. And obviously the clean water is also a resource that is limited. So these are the things that I think with the mining company, basically we would be very interested to work. Maybe maybe you're not aware, but most of the Hungarian water industry comes from the mining industry in Hungary. That basically ended, if you want to, 1989, and out of the ashes of this industry, the water companies preserved their intellectual property and built on it.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. So I still have one more question left for our friend VTK Innosystem. We understand that you already have this water treatment plan for water scarcity area projects in Indonesia. What are other projects that you targeted in some areas that still have difficulties in water, clear water, and also the water supply programs?
So we are really looking forward to the possible extension of IKK project. We are now in progress of evaluation results of the and it is I think the goal is at PU. If Indonesia express more interest in this area. Very briefly reacting to the previous, I would highlight one point. It is about engineering. Now about COVID, we talk a lot of science. The difference in between science and engineering, science doesn't make decisions. We are engineers, so I am engineer, we have to do decisions. Science won't do this for us. Science make predictions on climate change, virus spread. Engineers have to respond this. Especially in the water area, so nice to see partners in the IT area. IT is very flexible. It needs some copper wire, some antenna, and so on and so on. I don't want to underestimate that. But infrastructural engineering, roads, pipelines, mines, heavy material and energy intensive. Yes, we have to use them way better. What we try to do, I think it's partially project management, is lean engineering. What does it mean? Engineering is always a difference. So we try to come up with design where you can take decisions right at the point. So we don't want to put down something very solid to the ground. We try to stay very flexible with our engineering and use technologies that are adaptable and less hurt by such thing as this. Beside the continuation of IKK project, we are really looking forward all the project influenced by the planned movement of the, and also we are looking forward to provide special water treatment units, maybe for emergency cases, so small-scale water treatment units. I think we are in a very good partnership already with PU. What I see very important regarding the capital city development, I think it would be very good to establish a pilot project or some kind of project to the feasibility studies regarding the water and wastewater treatment, regarding the development. We would be very honored as Hungarian company to be part of this activity.
Thank you, Mr. Popovic. We're almost out of time, but before we end our discussion, I would like to ask each speaker on what is one thing that you hope our audience takes away from this discussion. I will start from Pak Heri.
Thank you. I hope there will be more collaboration and projects, that can help our target and program from this, based on this discussion. We are happy to help if there will be collaboration with us. Thank you.
Mr. Bauer, your time, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I think we all agree in this panel that COVID brings more opportunities than risks, if you want to, after we have mastered, obviously, the medical part of COVID. And I strongly believe that Indonesia is ready to take the opportunities, and we would be very happy to be part of it.
Pak Jeffrey?
To all the audience and also the panelists that listen to the opportunities in Indonesia, please, if you have any interest in investing in Indonesia, we are looking forward to it. Thank you.
And Pak Hanifa.
Thank you very much. We are very happy to be here and to gain the opportunity of exposure with businesses, solution and tech providers from Hungary, because we are a firm believer in a thriving ecosystem of companies, globally, regionally, what have you. And we are actually proactively seeking partnerships with companies across the globe, in many regions, in Australia, in Israel, in Europe, in Canada, and we even are looking for partnership in terms of investments, not only for investments in Indonesia, where we can actually become a very effective partner, but also for us to be involved in the development of new technologies that may actually be relevant to our space. So again, very happy to be here, and it's very nice for me to be connected to all the distinguished panelists and guests in this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Hanifa. And last but not least, Mr. Popovic from VTK InnoSystem. And Mr. Robert Revai, I would like to hear your take on this too.
Thank you very much for this invitation. As for my experience, we have a lot of opportunity together in between Hungary and Indonesia. I'm really looking forward, even as a private person, to be part of any project regarding Indonesia, and be partner in realizing that this is not just a disease on us, but it's kind of cure to realize that how much more we do have to do together. Thank you.
Mr. Revai?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think we will find possibilities for cooperation with our panelists, and we will contact them. And I hope not on just a general email. So yeah, we are looking forward for the cooperation for future investments in the capital city, the new capital city.
Thank you. So that's a wrap. I would like to say thank you all. Thank you all the speakers for your fruitful insights, knowledge, and experience. And also thank you for all the attendees for joining in the event today. And for more information regarding the event and also potential partnership opportunities, please visit the official website for Hunindo Tech 2.0 Business Forum at www.hunindotech.id. And don't forget to tune in for our next session on cyber security at 4 p.m. Thank you so much again, everyone. I'm Fika Rosemary, signing off.